What's up, gamers? It is episode 12 of 4 Gamers Only. I am Glenn Gordon, here with you again, once again, and this time I'm not all by myself. Check that out. For the past 2 weeks I did episodes of 4GO all alone. Once out of necessity. I think the next time something just happened. What was it? I have Garri here, by the way. What was it, Garri? You said that you were available to do it one day, but not another. And oh, that's right. Something happened with my cat. That's right.
Yes,
that's right. My cat's doing okay. He decided that roach traps make excellent chew toys. And when I came home from work, he was chewing on one and it was cracked open. So I took him to the vet, and that, long story short, that derailed the podcast. So, he is just fine. He is sitting next to me sleeping as we speak. And as I said before, I have Garri Bagdasarov with me. How are you, Garri?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
It's been 2 weeks.
It has been 2 weeks.
Actually, 3 weeks, sort of.
Yeah, true.
What have you been up to?
Oh, work. Just been super busy with work and some gaming whenever I get a chance now.
Are you saying that just because it's a gaming podcast and so you feel obliged?
No, I've been only playing The Witcher. That's pretty much it.
The Witcher, the big one.
The big one. And I built a new computer too.
Really?
Yes.
What's in it?
Parts. What do you mean?
I see. Parts.
Well, I have a GTX 970 video card.
All right.
That's 4 gig of RAM, if I'm rightly.
Yes.
Parts, Yay. He says. Parts.
I got 2 terabyte hard drives. One of them is an SSD. I got a awesome motherboard. I don't remember what it's called though. It's a specific gaming motherboard for gamers. But yeah.
So in other words, parts.
Yes. I don't know what kind of answer you want me to give.
What's the CPU?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
Okay. That's okay.
No. Well, okay, when I bought it, my friend helped me build it, so he picked all the best parts for me. So.
Okay. You're
pretty easy to build.
He's full of excuses.
It's pretty easy to build a PC nowadays.
Yeah, it's
color-coded.
Yeah, maybe someday I'll get around to doing that. I've done it before, but I really like my Macs right now. I have an iMac here, and I'm pretty happy with it, so I just don't feel a need to build one. So that's where I am.
iMacs are still best at design, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the design of these things is just fantastic. They're durable, they last a long time, they're fast as heck. I love them. Although the experience is not the same for anyone. You know, with any computer, frankly, you get out of it what you put into it, and things are different for everyone. So that's just me. Also, as I am sure you have heard, we have Ben Shillibeer Hall, who is joining us very thankfully from the UK, and I heard straight from the horse's mouth that you're not feeling too good.
No, I'm not feeling good at all. I feel like I'm going to puke up at any moment, but I haven't been able to.
So,
very nice.
Dedication from Ben. Thank you for being here.
I had to move the laptop to the bedroom so I don't pass out while doing it.
Goodness, why are you here again?
Because I can't disappoint my fans another week. Now I'm just going to go cough.
Okay. Well, here we are, guys. Episode 12. I read some tweets last episode 11, and there was one that I wanted to bring up again. It was from @KnowItMan, Josh Bailey. He said, and I quote, "I thought you guys would enjoy this." And he sent us a video about the social justice warrior, an actual social justice warrior in a made-up video game. And I showed the video to both Ben and Garri. What do you guys think of it?
All I know is you do know what game that's based on, right?
Which one?
Final Fantasy 1.
Oh, that's why I haven't played Final Fantasy 1.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Final Fantasy 1. That's the final boss in the game, Chaos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the video, I'm going to give it another retweet here while Garri tells us what he thought about it. or not.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Good work, Gary.
I guess we lost Gary.
Sorry. My mic was on mute. What was the question?
The video. What was the question? Your mic was on mute. What was the video?
The social justice video?
Yeah, how'd you like it?
I liked it. It was quite funny. They picked out all the things that are happening, and RPGs is what kind of the video was entitled to. You know, the ninja and the fast guys always go first, and they're all like stereotypical characters where, the white mage is always the healer, the black mage does the super powerful attacks. It was pretty good. I liked it.
So, which do you prefer, the white mage or the black mage?
I prefer the black mage.
I just asked that just to be weird. No, I mean, to tell the truth, each one has a really important role, but I think that pretty accurately describes the typical social justice warrior these days. Like, every little kind of thing that happens has to be about some kind of big issue in society.
Yeah, agreed.
So, yeah, we don't need to see that many. Well, I'll be honest, social justice warriors have their place. Because the issues that they like to talk about exist. They just don't exist in every little thing like they seem to believe. So, that's where that is.
Mind if I plug something quickly then?
What's that?
I'm a big fan of an old webcomic, based on those Final Fantasy 1 characters. I do recommend giving it a read sometime. It's on nuclearpower.com. It's been finished like 10 years now. But you might find it fun, Glenn, as well. It's just basically someone took the piss out of the story of Final Fantasy 1 because it has no story. So they made its own story up. Like the Warriors of Light are just people that found light bulbs that they coloured differently.
Wait, how does Final Fantasy 1 have no story?
Well, it has no real story because it's their first game.
Their first game. So what? It wasn't an RPG?
Their final game. It was an RPG, but the story was so convoluted that nobody cared. The story
gotcha.
was, you killed a guy who goes back in the past, who makes 4 monsters, who sends them to the future to create the guy who you killed in the future to send you back in the past.
I don't know what you just said, but it sounds interesting.
Let's just say this: skip the first 3 Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
I skipped the
Go
first.
straight to 4.
For those of you who are like, dude, this guy's hosting a video game podcast and he hasn't played Final Fantasy 1, what? Actually, my first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 13. Yes, and I did not care for it at all.
If I didn't want to feel more sick, I found a way.
Actually, Ben got me Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 on the Vita for my birthday last year, I believe, and I'm almost done with it.
Okay, so you don't want it for the PS4 then, for your birthday this year?
No, I'm good. Wait, is it cross-buy or cross-save or something? I heard something about that.
Don't know, but it's broken anyway, so don't buy it.
It's broken anyway, right?
The random drops, the random enemies that are supposed to be random are not random. They always spawn at the same location, which means you can never get the items you need to actually get your weapons at the end of the game because they don't exist.
So where did the idea come from that they're random?
Well, normally you have random battles, you know.
Yes. Oh, really? Those are at the same place?
Yeah, same place every time you walk into the area.
That is lame.
Yeah, and you always get the same drops.
That is lame.
So you can't actually farm certain items because the game won't drop them. Because I don't know if it's been patched yet, but yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, there you go. Let's move forward to another tweet here. This one was from SNova34Z, who said, again, Glenn records by himself 2 weeks straight. What happened to bringing me on? I feel sad. Sorry, buddy. It was kind of unplanned. Actually, I believe I read this tweet last week, but it was kind of unplanned, so that's what happened. But we will try and get you on very soon. Eric Han76 says, give Life is Strange a go if you haven't already. Great game. Have you guys heard of Life is Strange?
Best game ever. Buy it now.
Best game ever? What's it?
Hell, I'm going to buy you it for your birthday. That's
my birthday passed already.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's passed. I'm going to buy it now.
No,
well, not now, but you're getting it. It's a amazing game.
What
You're
is
not
it
waiting
about?
for that game. It's basically, you know those Telltale games?
Yes.
But it's set in a school. You play a schoolgirl that's got time travel powers, and she must work out what's going on. You've got to save your friend, and then you got to do other stuff, and brilliant game. The story is amazing. The music is fantastic. And everything's just, I want to swear, but that's how good it is. I'm not joking. It is one of the games of the year, I think.
Wow, that's impressive praise. Have you guys gotten a chance to check out Ori and the Blind Forest, by the way?
Don't have an Xbox.
It's available on Steam.
What?
Don't really PC game.
No, it's not. Don't lie to me, Glenn.
It is.
I will destroy you.
What? Destroy me? Hold
I
on.
didn't even know it was on.
Let's go to Steam right now.
Oh my God, it's on.
Yeah, Steam powered. It's rated 10 out of 10 on Steam, and it's $20.
$20? How long is this game? I heard it was like 3 hours long.
No, it's not. It's maybe 10 hours long. It's a fantastic game.
By the way, that Life is Strange, the episodes last between 1 to 3 hours, but they are amazing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe you could get through it in 3 hours if you just don't do anything and just scramble through it, but I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm not very, very good friends with Steam right now, so.
What did they do to you?
Well, they're just pissing me off. Like, every time I download a game now from my library to play it, like every 5 minutes it resets my router. And it's starting to really irritate me. I don't know why it's doing it.
Have you tried uninstalling and reinstalling Steam?
Yes, I did. Still
Have
does
you tried turning it on and off again?
No, it's really frustrating. I've done everything. Apparently, this issue, I looked it up, has been happening since like 2010. And they
Have
still
you
haven't
tried telling the KGB to stop doing it?
I wish I could do that.
You're no
But
work. You're no game now, Gary.
So, wait, have you talked to support or anything? Like, if this is a long-standing issue, there's got to be some way to get you
A lot
out
of people have tried, and like Steam keeps telling them to do all these things, which for some people it works, for other people it doesn't. I don't know. It's only when I'm downloading a game, so it's kind of frustrating. But
I see. Well, if you haven't played Ori and the Blind Forest, go play it. Fantastic game. Just beware for some consoles, Xbox One, there is a little bug with the instant on feature that the Xbox One has that can help you lose your save files. There is a bit of a workaround. Actually, we'll talk about that a little later on. But Life is Strange.
Yeah, Life is Strange is amazing, and I will buy Glenn it.
You will buy me it. Okay.
Not right now, but
Not right
I will
now.
buy it.
All
How
right.
about tomorrow?
I saw this Lamborghini the other day, Ben. I wish I could have it.
See, I can buy gifts like that, but I can't just go, yeah, Gary.
He's taking advantage of you.
I have a Lamborghini.
You're less than 100%, and he's taking advantage of you.
Have a Lamborghini and have 2 girls in it just to spice it up a bit.
Yes, finally.
Did you say girls or goats?
Girls. That are also goats.
I don't need some hybrid, dude. No. I'm not a
No,
fan.
it'll be a goat girl. But wait, no, that's a sheep.
What?
It's still going to be a goat. I
No,
don't know, I'm
goats
asleep.
Goats and sheep are 2 different animals.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Then you can have a female goat.
A female, okay. I
God,
don't know what...
I'm not even going to answer this.
Just so
Anyway.
you know, baby goats are absolutely adorable.
I agree. But goats are absolutely adorable because they're goats.
Because they're goats. All right.
Did anyone get that Goat Z DLC that came out, the zombie goat survival game?
The zombie goat
I don't even
survival
have-
game?
The game.
Yeah,
Of course,
Really?
of course there's a zombie goat survival game. Like, what else would there be?
yeah it's
What
called
else?
Goat Z.
Oh, my
It's the
goodness.
what's it? The tagline is the only game that's not in early access.
I think something is wrong with our developers. I think they're all crazy. Because they're making bread simulator. They're making
That's an amazing game.
soda drinking simulator. What's so amazing about it?
You've never
It sells
seen
millions of units, man.
Bread Simulator. It's called I Am Toast. What you got to do is just play a slice of bread, and then you got to get yourself toasted by any ways you possibly can.
By
There's
any
one
way,
level-
so by
There's one-
what sort of ways are there to toast yourself?
What you can do is climb across the if you're in the front room one, you can climb across to the counter, climb up the wall, knock the bowling ball on top of the TV, and that sets the TV on fire because of the electricity. Then you can just fall on top of it, toast yourself.
You know what usually happens when you throw a bowling ball at a TV?
Smashes.
It just breaks. It doesn't set on fire.
Yeah. And then there's also the one where you got to land on the radiator. And there's all different levels. There's even a space one now.
So I'm guessing that the bread has arms and legs. And
No, it's just a piece of bread.
how does it climb?
Powerful bread magic.
Bread magic. Okay, then. I give up.
And the more dirt you get, if you get dirty, you fail.
If you get dirty, you fail?
Yeah.
You get dirty just by walking around or something?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
And the dirty bar goes up as you...
no one likes dirty bread.
What? Fire kills everything. I think you'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but by the time you get to the toast and you're all like green and mouldy, nobody's going to eat you. I mean, you're mouldy toast. That.
And
What is happening right now?
I don't know. Let's just keep going and pretend it never happened. Guys, if you'd like to join the conversation, our Twitter is at 4G only, at 4GONLY. And you can send us tweets and we will read them on the podcast. We love hearing what you guys have to say. We love seeing the videos. I love that Social Justice Warrior video, Josh. Thanks for sending that in. If you've got more stuff that you want us to see, check out and recommend to others, send it along at 4G Only on Twitter. By the way, if you guys are wondering, hey, why does Glenn sound so sexy right now? I actually just got a new microphone. It is the Blue Yeti. And if you are into podcasting, voice recording, instrument recording, any kind of recording, the Yeti is a microphone that I absolutely recommend. It has 4 different pickup patterns. It's extremely versatile. It's got great build quality. Check it out at bluemic.com, BLUEMIC.com/Yeti. So that is the Yeti microphone that I'm on right now. I'm no longer on my Xbox headset. Actually, that's a lie. I have it plugged into my Yeti microphone for monitoring, but that's it. No.
Oh, that's expensive, Mike.
What, the Yeti?
Yeah.
It's about $150 retail, I think.
Yeah.
What? It's like a collector's edition, man.
That's not a collector's edition at all. That's like a professional grade microphone.
It's also £150.
That's a good price. That's actually a good price for it if you want a good microphone. I mean,
£150 is $250.
take a look at what gaming headsets cost. You can get like these Turtle Beach headsets and whatnot for $300. And yes, they have good microphones, but still.
I'm using Turtle Beach right now.
There you go.
You guys are crazy because I'm just using my standard PlayStation headset that came with my system, and it works just fine.
Really?
Wow.
Interesting.
And this was on sale.
Not on podcast on my PS4.
On the PS4. Okay, so guess what, guys?
Potatoes.
I was hoping for a response, but I'll take potatoes just fine. E3 is coming up in just, 3 weeks now?
Woo!
Whoa, yay.
So E3, if you happen to live under your nearest rock, is the biggest video game and technology exposition in the country, probably the world. It happens once a year around the beginning of summertime, and this year it will fall on June 15, Monday, June 15. And of course, along with all the other technological amazing things going on there, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo will have their annual video game press conferences to show you what they are all working on. Last year, Sony decided to do something really new. They went with something called the E3 Experience. And they took E3, which is usually just for the press, but they stream it online. They still do. I'm saying used to. And sorry, my cat is totally distracting me by rummaging through stuff he shouldn't. Go away. Good kitty. Okay. Where was I? E3 Experience. That's right. They took E3 and they put it in theaters, all over the country, all over the United States. Was it in the UK too?
No.
No. Okay. It was, in the US, in theaters all over the place. Tickets for that sold out in 15 minutes. They were free tickets, which is why. So, this year they're doing that again. Now, they also went ahead and gave you some kind of PlayStation surprise if you managed to attend. Last year what they gave you was a beta code for Battlefield Hardline, which was announced at E3. The Destiny, the alpha code to play Destiny, 30 days of Music Unlimited, and a poster. And, you know, so if you're looking for, say, like a new PS Vita or a new PS4, you are fresh out of luck. Not happening, especially since they are now putting it in 150% more theaters around the country, including Hawaii and Alaska. That's one theater at least in every single state, plus 3 cities in Canada. So it's getting bigger. It's becoming a big thing. And of course, Jeff Cayley is going to host his 30-minute post show. I'm hopeful that they fix the issues, because last year, I actually got to attend the E3 experience. I was lucky enough to get a ticket within the 15 minutes that they were available. And there were a lot of glitches. It would kind of do this buffering kind of thing. It would just glitch out. We wouldn't be able to hear audio for a little bit. And for the most part, it worked just fine, but just those moments, especially at the beginning. And it was not just unique to my theater here in Orlando. It was happening all over the country. So I hope, especially since they're expanding this to 150% more theaters, more than twice the theaters, then I'm definitely concerned that those issues could happen again. Anyway, if you want to participate in the E3 experience, it's going to be at PlayStation.com/E3 experience. Tickets are going to be available Wednesday, May 27 at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So whatever your time zone is, 9 a.m. Pacific time, you want to be at your computer, because I have every faith that all of these tickets are going to go like that. Garri, were you at E3 Experience last year?
No, I watched it on my computer.
You watched it on your computer? That's right. You were doing things for PlayStation Universe.
Yes.
Do you have any interest in something like this? Like, what if this became a thing for Microsoft? What if Microsoft one year decided, they're not doing it this year, by the way. What if Microsoft one day decided, hey, we want to expand our E3 presentation and put it in theaters or release it on DVD or something like that? Is this something that you see happening in the future?
It could happen in the future. I mean, I'm pretty sure it costs a crap ton of money to do that. And personally, I feel it's a waste of money. But, you know, obviously Microsoft has plenty of it. Sony probably should consider saving it. But, I don't know. Like, to me, I personally wouldn't go to it, simply because of fanboys and the rage. Even though I'm going to see a show I want to see with a bunch of the same people, I know the things that can happen in those shows. But I think it'd be cooler if they did something where it's like an all-day thing and they just showed every press conference in the theater. And you just sat there and watched all of them.
Now, well, I mean, they could do that, but then that would be out of Sony's hands. That would be more for the Electronics Expo. What does E3 stand for again?
Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Entertainment Expo. I knew I was missing one E. The Electronics Entertainment Expo. So that would be up to them, but this is just Sony doing that. I don't know. That could be... what I want to know is, what is it about E3 that's such a draw? You know, why are people so into E3, especially since what's coming up there we probably won't see for years?
No, simply everybody's there to see all the new stuff that's going to be announced. And play the games that won't be out for maybe another year.
Well, you mentioned being concerned about fanboys and rage and whatnot, and that, let me be clear, that is a very valid concern. However, at the one that I went to, at least my experience here in Orlando, everyone who went there was interested in PlayStation, at least as far as I could tell. No one that I heard was, you know, causing any undue ruckus or, you know, boo, PlayStation. I mean, that's, for one, I would not be surprised at all to hear that a lot of people in other theaters did that stuff, because it's just like...
You know, there's going to be like some Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft fanboys will show up just to troll everybody.
Which is their loss, because they wasted their time to come there and be a dick to everybody. And yet they're the ones sitting there watching the conference.
Yeah, but then see, something like that will just ruin the experience for everybody, because then people will start talking back and they'll just turn into an argument. People are going to get thrown out of the theater. Might be a fight in the parking lot. Some dude gets shot and the ambulance comes, you know.
Now that is a slippery slope if I've ever heard one.
Fighting around the world.
But,
that escalated quickly, huh?
But no, I mean, everyone at the conference was into it. And I will definitely say that it was a lot more fun to be at the E3 experience than it was to be in my room watching it. Because just the reactions, you remember that trailer for Uncharted 4 at the very end?
Yes.
What's with that answer?
Yes, I remember.
You remember. It was... You sit in the theater and you have a lot of other people around you who are dying to see this because Uncharted is one of PlayStation's biggest franchises. It's one of their best franchises. And so everyone is just sitting there and just the excitement the moment Nathan Drake's face goes on the screen. There was excitement as soon as they saw the Naughty Dog logo. Let's be clear about that. But once Nathan Drake's face was on the screen and they got to see all that detail, the place went absolutely nuts. And just being in that environment, like feeling the electricity of everyone else around you, being excited about the same thing that you're excited about, and the fact that you're in a theater, usually, oh, we're in a theater, don't talk. No, everyone, I mean, you're not having conversations, but everyone's getting into it and they'll cheer, and it's just a much different environment, and it's actually a lot of fun to be in. So for me, to see this happen more often with other companies, I think there could be good to that. For what Garri said, for E3 itself to go ahead and broadcast all of E3 live to different theaters. I mean, to tell the truth, I'm not sure how possible that would be because of how all the conferences are at different times, and it's more than just Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. You've got, like last year, Ubisoft had one. I think that would just be too much time for the theaters to take away from their businesses. But, I mean...
They're getting paid for it, they shouldn't care.
They're getting paid for it, but at the same time, they have a business to run.
Oh, yeah.
So, especially if it's E3 itself. If it's E3 itself doing it, then I'm not sure how much money E3 would be willing to put into it. Because E3 is... It's just an organization. It's responsible for getting these people here to talk. It really doesn't benefit all that much from having everyone, put...
Oh, I'm sure they make a lot of money.
They make a lot of money, but those E3 tickets are expensive. To put them out in theaters for free or even for like $10.
Well, and companies have to pay for the space that they're taking up on the show floor too, so...
Yeah, they make money, but also the people who are there have to pay. Like, that's just one source of revenue.
No, if you apply with a press pass, you do not have to pay.
But isn't E3 all press?
It is, but you can purchase a ticket separately if you don't pass the press pass test. But apart from that, you can apply for free tickets.
How do you apply for free tickets?
Well,
let me rephrase. What is the criteria for getting a free ticket?
Oh, it's changed now. It used to be ridiculously easy. Years ago, you used to literally just have to print a piece of paper out and they'll go, yeah, that website.
So,
but now,
wait a second, print a piece of paper. Is this like a legal ticket or is it like, photocopying a ticket?
Well, no, you have to find a blank, like, E3 ticket. Yeah, which people would used to, you could actually find, on certain websites. And just literally fill in your website's name and, they had no, they had no documents back then.
So it's the illegal way of doing it.
Yeah, that was the illegal way, but nowadays you have to just submit your articles. There's a lot of criteria. I can't do it, so I've never looked into it too much.
Okay.
But literally just submit to the company your articles. I think you got proof of how many years you've been writing for. You got to do some other things. You got to do a lot of things to get it now. Yeah,
Okay, well there we go. Anyway, if you guys are interested once again in E3 experience for PlayStation's conference, that will be Wednesday, May 27th, 9 a.m. PlayStation's showtime, by the way, the time of the actual conference. Of course, June 15, 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. So for you, those of you on the East Coast, like me, that will be pretty late. And for those of you in the UK, like Ben, that will be much later than that. But I'm sure Ben will still be awake.
Perfect.
Perfect for what?
Time for me.
Yeah, you're where? You're Mountain Time?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. While we're on the topic of E3, let's also talk about the other two, Microsoft and Nintendo. Microsoft's press conference is being touted as the greatest games lineup in history. Phil Spencer's been saying that. And a lot of fans have been pretty responsive. I know you guys, I mean, Ben, you said that since Goat Simulator is going onto Xbox, you're interested. Are you still interested?
Well, yeah, but I'm interested because I like Halo as well. I like the Gears of War, so I'm looking forward to Reboot. I'm interested, but I don't know. I have so many games coming out for the PS4, it's very hard to purchase other consoles. Even if I'm interested, it's money.
Let me be honest, I've been playing my Xbox a lot. I've been really enjoying it. And, I mean, I've been playing my PlayStation too, but I think partly because the Xbox is hooked up to my TV, it gets the most time.
That'd be why.
Yeah, I mean, but let's see, Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, I got that there. I got, Sunset Overdrive, Ori and the Blind Forest, sorry, I got that there. So I've been getting some games for it. It's a solid system. But, I mean, fans of the Xbox will probably be pretty happy if Phil Spencer is to be believed here. He said that the presentation will be 90 minutes long. For those of you who were paying attention to the E3 experience, it's going to be 2.5 hours long, 2 hours plus the 30-minute post-show with Jeff Keighley and all that stuff. For Microsoft, it's just going to be 90 minutes, an hour and a half. And that's because they did a whole run-through, a rough run-through, according to GameSpot, and it was too long and they cut stuff out, which is interesting. I'm wondering if that was necessary, because if you have this much stuff, and especially if the competition's going a full 2 hours, do you have to cut it down to an hour and a half? I wonder why.
I would be pissed if I was a developer and my game was cut. I would be. Because you're, a month away, and you have to get something ready to show at the press conference, and you're busting your butt, and your team is trying really hard to get a trailer or a gameplay video together, and then out of nowhere, it's not going to be there.
Okay. Well, we don't know exactly what has been cut or what has been edited. Microsoft has said that it's saving some reveals for Gamescom, which is a good move. It's entirely possible that for some certain games, certain developers, they have them at E3, and certain other ones they have later on at Gamescom. And, I mean, it is a concern because there are probably going to be fewer multiple platform games. Phil Spencer's already said this is going to be a focus on first-party games, there's going to be a focus on new IPs, and which implies that the focus is going to shift away a little bit from the multiple platform games. If it's just a multiple platform game, they still have Sony's conference, and in some cases they still have Microsoft's conference, Nintendo's conference. I'm getting these mixed up. So, I mean, that is a concern, and that's a good point. Like, I wonder if any certain announcements have been cut against the developers' wishes, and how it would actually affect those developers.
Well, here's what I hope is cut. I hope the games that do get cut, if they're games that are going to be showing, are games that are going to be shown at a different press conference. Like, I hope that, for example, Sony has always had Assassin's Creed on their press conference, but then Ubisoft also had Assassin's Creed at their press conference.
I kind of hope Ubisoft just doesn't have a press conference.
They do.
Of course they do.
But I'm hoping that they're not going to show me the same game at two different press conferences.
Ubisoft...
Stuff just pisses me off.
Ubisoft always shows different demos.
No, yeah, they're different demos, but it's the same game. Yeah. And I already know this game is kind. I already saw this game. Show me something else.
Not only that, but I've always... At least last year. I don't know if they do this every year, but last year they bothered me because they spent a lot of time cussing. And, I get it. You want to relate to your audience, all the young... You want to attract all the young'uns, and you want to, cuss up a storm. But, that just looks unprofessional. You can relate to your audience, and you can be approachable and likable without using profanity. And, profanity has its place, sure, but you don't need to lace everything you say with profanity to keep people's attention, because now, like, if you think about it, if I'm thinking about it right now, that's pretty much the only thing that I remember about Ubisoft's press conference. It's like, I know they showed Far Cry 4, which is fine. Sony and Microsoft, I believe, both showed Far Cry 4, so that's not special to me. And I just remember that they cussed. And if the only thing I remember about Ubisoft press conference is that they swear, I think they failed. You know? They failed to get their message across. What's that?
They had a dancing game.
They did a dance.
Ubisoft always has probably the worst press conference.
I don't understand why they feel the need to do that. That's not professional.
Don't know. I'd say Konami is up there.
Well, Konami is just the worst in general now.
When they're going on stage looking like they're drugged, and the whole one was it where they said, "Oh, it's a very live conference," and then after the end of the conference, it's just a video, just a pre-recorded video. It wasn't actually live. Because people that was watching it could skip ahead.
Wow.
I think Ubisoft could just save money. Like you said, Ben, the games that they show are games that we've already seen in other press conferences.
That was Garri.
Oh, that was Garri. So I don't see the need for them to have a press conference. I don't see the need for them to present their company the way they're doing it. Actually, I don't understand the need for them to do half the stuff they did last year. The last year was just a WTF year for them. You know, like, what are you doing, Ubisoft?
Yeah, like to me, like the press conferences should just be games that are coming only to your system. I don't think they should have any third-party games unless those third-party games are exclusive to your system. I know Sony will have a lot of Japanese games exclusive to their system from third-party publishers like Sega, Atlas, those guys. But for Microsoft, if you have exclusive titles for your system, show those from third parties. I don't want to see Battlefield or Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, at all three press conferences. And I have a feeling I'm going to see it at Sony's, Microsoft's, and EA's conference. And
Sony has marketing rights for Battlefront.
Okay, so I'll see it at EA and Sony.
From a business standpoint, it makes sense to have them at all three conferences, especially with a industry as polarizing as the video game industry, because people, I mean, if you're a PlayStation fan, if you say you're one of those PlayStation fanboys I'm always ranting about, are you going to watch the Microsoft conference?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I think you would have to, so you can hate on stuff.
Yeah, how can I hate something if I don't know what I'm hating?
But see, that's not realistic. You know, a lot of people who you know, decide to go that route with their devotion to a box, they don't bother wasting their time. You know, they'll go look it up on the internet and post stupid comments. But
see, I'll spend the entire Microsoft and Nintendo just taking the piss. But then I'll also take the piss out of Sony. So.
But I mean, for the most part, this is the best way for them to get their product out there, because if you have it at one, then you probably won't have it at the other. I mean, if you have it at one and not the other, then those who are just watching the Microsoft conference and not the Sony conference, they have no clue. So I guess from a business standpoint, it does make sense to have them on all three.
Well, yeah, from a business standpoint, a lot of things make sense, like exclusive DLC and stuff, but for everybody else, it just pisses you off.
See, I don't think that makes sense for a business either, because then you get bad PR.
Yeah, but then you also get all this undisclosed amount of money for free to have this come out 4 months or a month before anybody else gets it.
Yeah.
Like, it can be done for everything, for all of the consoles, but they'll be getting it a month earlier, and we're getting this big fat paycheck to have that happen.
It's an interesting discussion point.
Like, yeah, I'll just say this right now. Exclusive DLC is worse than exclusive third-party titles, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather just give the whole game to one studio or one company than give them exclusive DLC for a certain amount of period. I think it's just crap.
I think that's a result of these companies not really knowing where to go. Because, like we've been saying, these consoles are more similar than ever across the board. And so it's getting harder to differentiate, hey, what makes this one special as opposed to the competition? You know, Xbox has its TV thing, but that's, you know, for gamers, that's it's hard to call that a selling point for a video game console. You know,
PS4 has the 1080p's and the 60 frames.
What?
They buy it for the P's.
Which they don't even know. They don't even know what P stands for. It ticks me off when people go on and on about resolution. They have no freaking clue what they're talking about. It's just, we want higher numbers.
Do you know that? I know this is off topic a bit, but The Witcher 3, it's on the box for the Xbox One. Says it runs at 1080p. It uses dynamic resolution to change the resolution based on what's on screen to help keep the frame rate stable.
Okay.
The only thing that's actually 1080p is in fact the menu screen and the cutscenes.
Okay.
But because the cutscenes and menu screens are 1080p, they're allowed to legally put on the box.
But see, for me, I think frame rate's more important. You know?
Oh, yeah.
If it has to be like that, then for crying out loud, I mean, I guess they have the 1080p just for marketing purposes. But if it's at 900p or whatever the heck they've been using, that's fine as long as you have a steady frame rate, because the frame rate's what pulls you out of the game, not the resolution. Unless the resolution is just noticeably down, unless it's like, 480.
Well, it's a big jump when you go from cutscenes to gameplay a little bit, because things get a little bit foggier, but apart from that, the frame rate is stable, though, on both systems.
As it should be.
Though there is some frame rate issues with the PS4 version, but that's only because the frame rate's actually going higher than 30 frames.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's locked at 30 frames, that's what's called, it causes something called frame skipping, where the game is trying to load the next frame before it's supposed to, which it makes it look like you got frame rate, but when actually it's running too fast.
I actually want to move forward because I just want to get to a couple more things before we have to call it quits.
Okay.
Nintendo is going to be at E3, but nope, not really. It is going to use its Nintendo Direct video for the third year in a row. So that, by the way, Microsoft's conference will be at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Nintendo has a conference.
No, they don't, Ben.
I thought
They
they had a
announced
conference.
it, and then they pulled it. It's going to be direct.
Oh, there.
It's going to be direct. Microsoft's conference is Monday, June 15 at 9:30 a.m. Wanted to get that out there. Yes, there will be a Nintendo Direct presentation, not a full conference. And one interesting thing they're doing is they're bringing back the Nintendo World Championship from 1993. What do you guys know about that?
No,
It was amazing.
Say that again, Ben?
It was a competition where people could enter to play certain parts of NES games. You had Mario Brothers, Rad Racer, Tetris. You only got one level of each. And the winner of the competition won a grey World Championship cart. But if you subscribed to Nintendo Power, you had a chance to win the official gold Nintendo World Championship carts, which are worth more than the grey ones. But they're still both limited. They're both like I think the grey ones are about $5,000, and the gold ones are about 20 to 30 grand.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting idea. You have just this competition for a few games that goes around the world or whatever, and just actual people playing this game from actual cities and competing in that regard. That's a really cool idea. Forbes.com thinks that Nintendo is blowing it this year with this resurrection, in part because the World Championships is only in the United States. And it is also limited to NES Remix. So that is a shame. Also, it's only going to happen in 8 cities in the whole country, in all of the United States. 8 cities, and 2 of those cities are in California. So, yeah, I mean, that's nice, and what they have is kind of spread out. There's California, there's one in Miami, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, Texas, and Washington. But that's a lot of ground uncovered. Only 8 locations. People are going to come in from all over the place, and only the diehards. And the only thing that they're going to play is Ultimate NES Remix for the Nintendo 3DS. That's a shame. I think that Forbes is right. They did blow it, because that is a fantastic idea. It's a great way to engage with your audience. It's a great way to get Nintendo's name out there and to get people into it. And then it's that limited. You look at it and it's like, that's it, really? I mean, is Nintendo dropping the ball here?
No, I think it's amazing.
You think it's amazing? Just that one game in only 8 cities in the whole country, and just
the
one
only thing
country?
I don't like is the cities. I don't like that. I think that's stupid. But I think the idea of having one game is a good idea because it's referencing the original Nintendo cart, which had only 3 games on it.
Well,
Remember, the remix is multiple NES games.
let me. It's multiple NES games, but let me rephrase. Yeah. What if they used a different game?
What do you mean?
What if they used something like Smash Brothers? What if they used something like Mario Kart?
Because the whole thing is supposed to be like a homage to the original Nintendo World Championships, and you can't exactly do a homage with something like that. By doing the NES remix, you're actually doing what they did before, which is they had 1 level of Super Mario Brothers, 1 level of Rad Racer, and 1 level of Tetris.
But see, why does it have to be an homage? Why does it have to be, let's go back and do exactly what we did last time? Why can't they turn it...
They haven't done it for 15 years. It's nice for...
They haven't done it for 15 years, but now that it's 15 years later...
I think, no, 25 years. No. I can't
1993 was the last one. Now that it's so much time later, they have changed in so many ways. They have so many different things going on. They have different franchises out. They have games that have risen in popularity in insane ways in games like Smash and Mario Kart. Why does it have to be an homage? Why does it have to be, let's go do exactly what we did last time? Why can't it be, let's take what we did last time and make it better and make it bigger?
I think it's a good idea because that way, if this is successful right now, then next year they can expand it. I think they should just start how they did before, just so that fans, oh look, it's that Nintendo I loved. And look, those games, because Nintendo Remix is an amazing game. It's got loads of mini games.
But the other possibility here is that people who do not live in those 8 cities, which is a lot of people, by the way,
well, yeah,
are going to take this whole part of Nintendo's presentation and just be like, I don't care. I had no access to that. That didn't involve me, and Remix is an okay game, but I'd rather play Smash. It's just not an interest for me. That's a possibility too.
There's people like me who are going to be watching it because it reminds me of something that I didn't get to see it because I was too young.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to experience it, and I would love for them to do like a giveaway of like, I said this in Unchained actually, where they give away like a disc version of the NES Remix, but have the cart shape, the box shaped like a NES cart.
The box shaped like a NES cartridge?
Yeah. But have it like shaped like the grey 1990, I think it was. Yeah, the 1990 ones. 1993 weren't as much, but 1999 ones. Have it like a homage to the grey ones with a little label with the numbers. And just have it as like a, look, this is what you want. And then possibly, they don't have that Nintendo whatchamacallit anymore, do they? Nintendo Power.
Nintendo
Power?
No, I don't believe so. I haven't heard of it lately.
So it'd be nice, at least a Nintendo website. I know they've got Red Club Nintendo, but some Nintendo website they could do a homage to the old gold cartridges as well, and have giveaways for people who couldn't attend. Yeah, the festival, and have that on the website. That will crash instantly.
Right. Yes. These websites. I mean, they broke GameStop already. We talked about that before.
So have a competition where you go answer certain questions, like factual stuff based on the event. I know this will never happen because it's smart, but have it so there's like who was the best at this time, who did this the best during the event, and who did this the fastest, and so forth. What games were on the disc and blah blah the event and blah blah blah, and then have a chance for people outside the event to win cartridges. But I don't want them to unlimited because then they wouldn't be worth anything.
Well, I will say that I hope that you are right and that this is just kind of the beginning, because the World Championships concept is actually a fantastic idea. I would be very interested in seeing it become a big deal as far as Nintendo's concerned. I see people looking forward to Nintendo's conference all year and saying, hey, I'm going to practice this game and get ready for the World Championships. That's a big thing that could happen. I mean, that's a really fantastic way to engage with your audience. And so I think Nintendo's sitting on a potential gold here, and I just hope that they do something with it, because I don't know, to me that seems like dropping the ball to me. And you do raise some good points. but I just feel like they could have done better with this.
Oh, they could do better, but I believe that, for a start, it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings back nostalgic memories for people.
Nintendo and nostalgia. That's what they do. They wring the nostalgia right out of you.
Nostalgia.
That's who they are. Meanwhile, Gary's disappeared.
No, I'm still here. I was just listening to you guys.
Listening? When did you become an audience member? I thought you were on the podcast, man. My bad.
Well, you guys were making such great points. I didn't want to...
You didn't want to throw off our groove?
Yeah.
All right.
So what did you think of my idea, Gary?
I think it's great. Like, I agree with both of you guys. I think the doing the old school thing is nice, but like you said yourself, that you were too young to experience it or even watch it the first time. And I think that's also kind of the problem for the newer gamers is, like Glenn also said, like, they don't really care for that old stuff. They want the new stuff. And personally, I think they could have gone new and old. They could have done two different ones. But that's my opinion.
I can see that next year.
Now, these guys actually did not listen to the last episode because they suck at doing their homework. But I mentioned League of Legends last year and how they have like this big worldwide tournament of like pro League of Legends players. And I use pro loosely because it's a video game. I don't understand. Anyway,
So
that's a different
MLG, brah.
That's a different discussion. But they have this, it's a huge thing, and they like filled up a stadium in Korea. And they got Imagine Dragons to go there and perform. And it was a big deal. It was a world championship, a true world championship tournament. There were teams from all over the world who performed in this tournament playing League of Legends. And it became a big deal. I could totally see Nintendo doing something like that. I mean, I don't know how much money Nintendo has to put towards something like this. I know Riot is filthy rich right now off of League of Legends. But I could definitely see something like a world championship for Nintendo. I could see that becoming a big deal. And so I hope that they take it toward that direction in the future because, I mean, that's something that they could really work with. I mean, Nintendo's marketing lately hasn't been fantastic, so I don't know.
I will say this. I don't think Smash Brothers should be one of those games.
Don't think so?
No, I think it should be Mario Kart.
Why Mario Kart over Smash Brothers?
As much as I love Smash Brothers, the game is very unbalanced. It always has been and always will be. Some characters are just not as well balanced as other characters.
Okay.
And people know that. You always see people playing with the same characters. There's a reason that in tournaments, people are always playing with certain characters.
I think there's a workaround for that, though, because you could take the characters and break them off into different categories and keep the matches towards those toward those categories.
Yeah, but that's something I don't think anybody would ever do.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, the reigning champion in Smash Brothers is a guy who plays with Diddy Kong. And for those who don't know, Diddy Kong was the most overpowered character in Smash Brothers when it came out for the Wii U. They have since they released a patch, one whole patch just to nerf Diddy Kong. That was all they did, was nerf him with this patch. And even then, he's still one of the most overpowered characters in the game.
That's ironic. He wasn't fantastic in Brawl.
Yeah, and like the guy who's won pretty much every tournament, I think he's won like 6 tournaments in a row now of Smash Brothers with Diddy Kong. He pretty much gets booed on stage every time he's there.
Okay.
Because he uses a character that everybody knows is completely unbalanced and overpowered.
Well, guys, I want to move on really quickly because I want to try and keep this to about an hour. I want to talk about this real quick just because I mentioned earlier that we were going to. Ori and the Blind Forest had a save bug. I mentioned it before when Pedro was here. And it has to do with the instant on feature of the Xbox One, where you turn the Xbox One on and you can just play your game right where you left off. So what's going on is I lost a lot of my save file on Ori and the Blind Forest because of that. And what's going on is I would play for a bit, I'd turn off the Xbox One, turn it on again, play some more, and all this time I'd be saving. I can't survive in that game more than like 5 minutes without saving. So I've been saving and I've been turning the Xbox on, off and turning it on and continuing. And then eventually I turn it off completely, like off, and do a full restart. Or I'd close something, or I'd just close it down. And then when I'd start again, I'd be way back. I would have lost a lot of progress. And what you need to do to avoid that is after you save, before you turn the Xbox One off at all, after you've finished your session, just save the game and quit it completely. Quit it completely. Don't use instant on. Start it again organically without the instant on feature, and you will keep your save file. I say that because the save bug that someone mentioned with The Witcher 3 appears to be similar. It's also for the Xbox One, and it's basically... the guy's terrified to play the game because he's afraid of losing his save file. He's lost 2 hours of progress in one session, another hour in another session. And so what's going on? It looks the same. I don't know exactly for sure what it is. I haven't even played The Witcher 3 just yet. But just in case, I would just be careful with the game. It has a save bug on the Xbox One, and it looks kind of similar, just so you know. You guys have it for PS4, right, or PC?
I have it for both.
You have it for both?
I got it free with my video card, so.
Oh, okay. Which one do you play more?
On my PS4.
Oh, okay. Any noticeable differences other than the controls?
Graphically, obviously, there's a big difference. Well, not a huge difference, but it's noticeable difference. There's more foliage. The lighting is a lot better. Textures are a lot smoother. Obviously, you get a control of how good you want the graphics to look. Personally, I feel like control-wise, the game was built for keyboard and mouse. It just feels so much smoother playing it that way than it does on the controller. That's just my opinion. But other than that, not much else. But I do want to kind of say something about that bug. Like you said, it's apparently happening now with both those games, and to me, that kind of sounds like an issue that Sony had with their system when they released a firmware update that started corrupting save files and deleting save files for multiple games. And
which console was that?
That was on the PS4. That was the second to the last patch they released started doing that, and I ran into that issue too. And it seems like it's more of a firmware issue that both Microsoft and Sony released that is causing that problem, and it's not really. Well, it could be from their side, from the developer side, from CD Projekt and the developers of Ori and the Blind Forest, but from the way it sounds like an issue with the hardware and not the software.
Okay. Guys, you heard that little Skypey sound earlier. That was Ben. He went away from his keyboard for a second, which is unfortunate because we're about to wrap up the episode. Witcher 3, do you like the game? I think I asked that earlier.
I absolutely love the game, yes.
Good. I've been hearing good things about it.
Like everybody's talking about, the graphic downgrade that it's got. But obviously you can see the differences between the first trailer they showed and how the final product is, but it's still probably the best looking game technically right now.
Okay. We will talk some more about it next week. Before we wrap up, I just want to give a quick shout out to Puzzle on N4G. I don't like N4G for a lot of reasons. But Puzzle makes it a little bit better because when we are hurting for approvals, you have to, when you submit something onto N4G, you have to get the community to approve it. And that's not always easy, believe it or not. However, on those times when we're usually hurting, Puzzle usually shows up just to save to save our butts. So thank you to Puzzle on N4G. So guys, we're done with episode 12 of 4Gamers Only. Tune in next week for episode 13. Lucky number 13. How exciting. I am... What was that? What'd you say? Someone said something?
I was just laughing because Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. Lucky number 13. So guys, if you would like to get in on the action here, you can send us an email. You can contact us on Twitter. On Twitter, we're at 4G only, number 4, GONLY. Anything we've said just now, if you want to put in your opinion, if you agree, if you disagree, just let it out. Let it out. We'll talk about it next week on the podcast. Our email is 4gocast@gmail.com. You can support us on our Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's kind of like Kickstarter, but it's for ongoing projects. It is not for like big projects that need one lump sum of just big funding. It's for little ongoing projects that need a little support, just like ours. It costs a little money to run this. I just bought a microphone, which was ridiculous. And, we could just use the help. So if you want to, check out our Patreon. You don't have to donate a lot. $1 per episode will do it. That's $4 a month. And we will be doing stretch goals, we'll be doing milestones, all the stuff that Kickstarter usually does. So check that out. That's patreon.com/4GO. If you want to stop donating, you can do so at any time. You will never, ever, ever be held, if I can speak, to that. Or if you don't feel like doing the Patreon thing, our PayPal is 4gocast@gmail.com. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever. Anywhere you want to find us, you can subscribe to us there. Leave us a review. We'll read those on the air as well. We would like to be on SoundCloud. That is one thing that Patreon will help us with. But SoundCloud, hopefully in the near future. Guys, our music this week, our intro, all of our music comes from OC Remix, by the way, but our intro is called Flicky's Night Out. It's from Sonic the Hedgehog, the original game from the Sega Genesis in 1991, and it was done by Rexy. It's a really cool remix. You're hearing it in the background right now. Our outro is called Faster Than Rock. It's from FTL Faster Than Light, which was available on the PC in 2012, and it was done by Lil V, and it sounds like Ben's back. Welcome back, Ben. He is muffled, but he's here. So Faster Than Rock on the OC remix on our outro. You will listen for that in just a little bit. We're going to play the whole thing. It's actually a really cool song. It's not just this big heavy metal rock thing all the way through. It's got some variation, and it was a delight to listen to. I'm excited about this. So you will enjoy that in just a couple minutes. If you want to contact Garri, do you want to just use our 4GO stuff, or do you want to give your own?
They can use the 4GO thing. I'll respond to that, or you can contact me at Gaglaush. That's GAGLAUSH on Twitter as well.
Gaglaush on Twitter. That's so fun to say.
Thank
you. Or 4G only, if it makes it easier. And you, Ben?
You can stalk me at Chili on BSN. I've been taken at hotmail.com. Chili_UK on Twitter, and Chili on NeoGaf. All the ways.
So if you wanna just talk to us in general, 4G only is good. But if you want to stalk Ben specifically, as he puts it, he makes it nice and easy for you, so you can use those. I don't know why you have to put it that way. Stalk you. Let's all stalk Ben.
Yay! I'm 20 friends off 500 on PSN now.
Oh, how cool! Wow, 500.
Yeah.
Who are your friends? Like, why so many?
People just add me. I log in and then you have 10 friend requests.
Surprise.
Okay, accept.
Mr. Popularity. There we go.
Sometimes I have messages saying thank God for Chili. Obviously they're fans of the podcast, but...
You've got a fan base.
Yeah, well,
Okay. Hey guys, share us with your friends, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you are. Get 4GO's name out there. We're really small. We're at episode 12, going on episode 13. So we're a young podcast, but we're a good podcast, and we'd love for more people to join the fun. So share, retweet, Facebook, like, share, subscribe, all the social media terms that people are doing. You can do them, and you can make us grow bigger. That would be awesome. So guys, that's it for episode 12. Next week, episode 13. Hopefully with these guys, and maybe Pedro. I haven't been able to find Pedro in a little while. At least here. I see him at work all the time. So, we'll see what happens for them. Until then, guys, stay safe, game hard, and lots of love from 4GO. Or as Ben calls it.
Fortunist goats on site. I think I've done that before, but I'm ill, so...
Why he uses online or on site a lot. We'll have to give him some more O words.
I'm trying to think right now. My brain's 3 a.m.
Gotcha.
There we go.
All right. Tune in next week, guys. 4GO.
Right, then next week, Fortune's Goat on the brain.